Hey everyone, we're on the corner of Broadway and East 14th Street, right here in New York City's Union Square. We're going to be walking all the way up 5th Avenue today to 59th Street Central Park South. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. It is peak rush hour right now. It is 6 p.m. on a Thursday, September 4th, 2025. So if you've ever wondered what rush hour is really like in New York City, well, hopefully watching this video will help you get that experience all but virtually. Union Square is really nice, and one thing I'm looking forward to is the Union Square Market, particularly during the holidays.
And I feel like I just felt like we were playing with one hand.
Behind this, you'll have the main Whole Foods. If you were to continue to walk down Broadway, it'll run you right into the Astor Place neighborhood. Also, a little bit over to the right, it'll take you to New York University, as well as Washington Square Park. Oftentimes here you'll see people playing chess. Vending right outside of the 14th Street subway station. You can get a ton of connections here too. You can get the NQRW L4, 5, and 6 trains. You will also have a lot of noise pollution. There's like 16 different kinds of rap music going on, which I'm not that much of a fan of. But that's neither here nor there. This is now 16th Street and Union Square West. It's always very lively here. If you're one of those types that's into people watching, you can just grab a good book or a newspaper and come right here to Union Square and just observe. see as everybody gets off of work, they'll funnel down to 14th Street, most likely taking the train back uptown towards Grand Central Terminal or 34th Street, Penn Station. One of the things I really like about Broadway is that from about 23rd Street on down, they've closed the street down to vehicles and they've made it exclusively for pedestrians as well as cyclists. So it's really quite nice, particularly on a Friday or Saturday night. You can walk the entire duration of Broadway, enjoy all the shops and the restaurants and coffee shops. You don't have to worry about any reckless driving or noise. You can kind of just enjoy it. Almost makes the city feel a little bit European. Another thing about Broadway, south of the Flatiron Building, is you have a lot of these beautiful architects and architecture. Here's an example here. It's really stunning. Now coming up on East 18th Street and Broadway. Here's another example of some great architecture here. You can hear the subway roaring underneath us. And once again, you have all of this nice outdoor space for pedestrians and everybody to enjoy. This Olenstein is pretty good. There's a location right near Bryant Park. Now coming up on East 20th Street and Broadway. As you can see, right on East 20th Street, the vehicle traffic stops as they are all diverted westbound. Here's another beautiful building across the street. Here on the corner we have the offices of Okta, which is a cybersecurity company that specializes in identity and access management cybersecurity software. But I want to cross the street so I could showcase this building on the corner of East 20th. Look at that. This building is 901 Broadway. Look at that.
Really? Really? You understand? You understand that? And what happened?
Coming up to the very back of the Flatiron Building, 23rd Street and Broadway, is the main area outside the Flatiron Building, as well as Madison Square Park. You can just see waves and waves of people getting off of work and walking downtown, presumably to 14th Street. As you can see, the Flatiron Building is totally covered in scaffolding, and that's because it was recently sold in auction, and the new buyers are going to be building luxury condominiums. So this is yet another building in New York City that is going to be converted from commercial office use to residential use. My only concern about the Flatiron Building, as it relates to being a residential building, I'm not too sure how the architects are going to work out the floor plans there for a residential unit, because it's rather narrow. But then again, I'm not a world-renowned architect, so I'm sure they'll make something work. But with the building being the way it is, in that very triangular, narrow shape, that might make the floor plans rather tight. You really want a floor plan to flow nicely, and I'm not sure how they're going to accomplish that at the Flatiron Building, but we'll see. So here you have the Flatiron Building. The architecture on the outside is beautiful, but New Yorkers are going to have to live with this temporary eyesore of all this scaffolding. As we stand outside the Flatiron Building and look northbound, you used to have this absolutely gorgeous view of the Empire State Building. But unfortunately, this luxury condominium has totally destroyed and have now obstructed all of the views of the Empire State Building. If you want to do some research on the skyscraper, you could watch our dedicated standalone video to 262 Fifth Avenue. It's 860 feet tall. Now, the original plans for the building were to be over 1,000 feet tall, but in order to save money, the developers scaled down the project. You have the Eataly, which has just been recently renovated. But this is one of my favorite shots looking southbound at the Flatiron. Now we're at East 24th Street and Broadway at Madison Square Park. One of the things that's got New Yorkers up in arms about that 262 Fifth Avenue development is that there's only going to be 26 units in the entire building. So one of the most iconic views of the Empire State Building is now no longer, and in its replacement you get 26 luxury residential units. Well, it's good news for any of the purchasers of those 26 units because they will be getting near direct views of the Empire State Building. If I adjust the brightness, you can see a little bit of a sliver of 262 Fifth Avenue, and then behind you have the Empire. A little bit of a fun fact. Jeff Bezos' new apartment is up here, and he shut down Fifth Avenue in order to rent out cranes to get all of the furniture into his apartment. He has a beautiful place right here on the corner of 26th Street and Fifth Avenue. We're now transitioning into Midtown Manhattan. We're going to head up towards 32nd Street, which is New York City's Koreatown. Now that we're walking north of 27th Street, we'll finally get back our views of that Empire State Building. But imagine having one of the units in here. From your living room, it's going to seem like you have the spire of the Empire State Building directly in your face. It's going to be pretty incredible for them, but New Yorkers will unfortunately lose their view. I want to show you 242 Fifth Avenue here. They've just recently done a renovation on this building, and look at those vaulted ceilings there. It's a tremendous duplex in a really, really gorgeous building. We're now in the corner of 28th Street.
I know. So where?
Here's another gorgeous building that was recently fully renovated on 5th.
You gotta come over and watch this?
Okay, and here we are at the official construction site of 262 Fifth. Very, very skinny. I guess I'll recommend this place right here on the corner of 5th Avenue and 30th Street. This is called Katsun Sushi. The sushi's actually not very good, but it's kind of a fun place to go because it's like getting sushi in Tokyo on those conveyor belts. So if you're looking for a place to go, it is rather expensive. It's on the corner of 5th Avenue and West 30th Street. Katsun Sushi. As we push towards New York City's Koreatown. The best restaurants in Koreatown are on 31st Street, in my opinion. One of which being Take 31, and her name is Han. So if you're looking for good Korean restaurants to go to in New York City's Koreatown, I would suggest Take 31. And they've also opened up a late night dining there until 3 a.m. It's quite amazing looking at the Empire State Building, knowing that it was built during the Great Depression. Just an amazing structure. If you're looking to try something a little bit out of the ordinary, which is traditional Korean food that's kind of come back into favor amongst the Generation Z Koreans, you could try this spot called Gopjang Story right here. It's right on the corner of 5th Avenue and 32nd Street. This is beef intestine. I know it sounds a little bit strange, but it is extremely good. So if you're looking to try something a little bit different, go ahead and check this out, the Gopjang Story. The beef intestine has become very popular, as I've said, amongst more younger Gen Z millennial Koreans. The first time I tried it, I hated it. Thought it was horrible. But then I went back, and you kind of get used to it, and it's very good. You also have Love Korean Barbecue to our right.
The excellent counsel you provided, he refused to adhere to.
And across the street, I'll give you another tip for a place to go. It's called Prince Tea House. This is like a traditional tea house where you could come here, sit down, have a really nice cup of tea. And it's open very late. I think this is open till midnight, so come and check out Prince Tea House on New York City's 5th Avenue in between 32nd Street and 33rd Street. Right, and here we have it, the beautiful Empire State Building, owned by Empire Realty Trust. Speaking of beautiful Art Deco buildings, I really like Rockefeller Center. And if you're interested in New York City finance, I would look into the story of how Bill Ackman got involved in making a pretty profit on Rockefeller Center. We'll take a look at some of the main Art Deco notes of the beautiful Empire State Building. Art Deco definitely comes to life in here. Just look at how grand the ceiling is. Really stunning. just a beautiful building. You know, you could also go inside the Chrysler Building too, but it doesn't seem as open and inviting to tourists as the Empire State Building seems from the inside or the outside.
Actually, next week I'm meeting for.
As we're waiting for the light, you could look at this beautiful building to your right. This is the CUNY Graduate Center on the corner of 5th Avenue and 34th Street.
No, not all the other.
There's two main university systems or college systems in New York, one of which is SUNY, the State University in New York. And then you have CUNY, which is the City University of New York. I think both are great options for an affordable education. Now going to be approaching Bryant Park in the New York Public Library, or the Stephen Schwarzman Building. Stephen Schwarzman is the CEO and founder of Blackstone, which is a major private equity firm based here in New York on Park Avenue, who unfortunately suffered a horrible tragedy with a gunman coming into the main entrance, allegedly wanting to target the NFL. However, Blackstone has a larger footprint at that building than the NFL does. now coming up to 37th and 5th. This is going to be the new Shaver Food Hall, right in the old Lord and Taylor building. That sits right here on West 38th Street and 5th Avenue. If you stand on the corner here and you look up to the top of the building, on the big crown molding up there, you'll still see the original Lord and Taylor sign. I remember as a kid walking up here to 38th Street during the holidays to look at the Christmas windows. Okay, now we're on West 39th Street. We're going to be walking up to the main two lions that sit outside of the Stephen Schwartzman building. The lions' names are Patience and Fortitude. But before we continue any further, I'd like to give another restaurant recommendation. It sits right on the corner of 39th Street and 5th. It's a Thai food restaurant called Dag. D-A-G-G. It's honestly one of the best Thai food restaurants I've ever been to. If you go there, I'd recommend trying the scallops. They're the best scallops I've ever had. So D-A-G-G is the name of the restaurant. It sits on the corner of 39th Street and 5th Avenue. So next time you're in New York City and you're looking for a good restaurant to eat at, get the scallops at Dag. We're going to see a few other notable buildings in the backdrop of the Stephen Schwartzman building. You'll be able to see Salesforce Tower, which is Mark Benioff's company. They just reported earnings yesterday. And you'll also have Bank of America Tower, which is Brian Moynihan's company. Mark Benioff and Salesforce are really, I should say, the pioneers of the SaaS revenue model, or the software as a service, which has been extremely lucrative. Oftentimes on Wall Street, those tech companies that sell subscription services or annually reoccurring revenue, they tend to trade at a premium valuation, and they tend to go through a multiple expansion over the course of the business life cycle, particularly as it's growing at 25% plus year over year for a SaaS company. And that's because Wall Street generally is willing to pay a premium for predictability in revenue growth, as well as predictability in profitability. It's a much better business model to be able to sell an enterprise customer a subscription to a software that may cost $1 million a year, and they'll be paying that $1 million a year in perpetuity so long as they're a happy customer. Because then if you want to model the stock or you want to model the company, it's a very, very simple model. It's how much revenue is the company growing per year, and then factor in the churn rate. So if you could have a company with a very, very insignificant or de minimis customer churn rate, but they're growing annually reoccurring revenue at 25%, and if they have very, very high gross margins, well then that thing is going to be a cash cow. And again, Wall Street is willing to pay a premium for the predictability of those revenue streams and the predictability of the cash flows. Essentially, a company's value is determined in the amount of cash you could take out of the company over its life, which is why many analysts on Wall Street will be building DCF models, which is an acronym for discounted cash flow models. So discounting a company's cash flows in the future back to present value. We're now crossing 42nd Street, headed northbound. Right on the corner here, you have a really nice brand new development. This is 525th Avenue. This is the newest luxury residential condominium on New York's 5th, and it's very reminiscent of 130 William, at least the architectural integrity of the facade of the building. now we're on the corner of 44th Street. My old office used to be just off to the left here on Avenue of the Americas. 45th Street and Avenue of the Americas. It was the Marsh & McLennan building. It still is. You also had a big hedge fund in there, which was a quantitative hedge fund, D.E. Shaw. But they have since moved to the Hudson Yards, along with a lot of other big businesses, as they upgrade their offices to more of the Class A office towers. We are now approaching New York City's Diamond District, which sits on 47th Street. But in the distance, that big black building is Olympic Tower. That's really one of the first condominium buildings in Midtown Manhattan that was marketed almost exclusively to foreign buyers. As we talked about before, New York City co-ops on the Upper East Side and the Upper West Side have been rather discriminatory in years past to foreign purchasers and foreign buyers. So developers really took a noticing to this, in which case they started to build luxury condominiums in Midtown, catering to the more transient buyer to satiate some of that demand from purchasers abroad.
Eyes of the beholder.
New York City's Diamond District has been, I would say, recently famous by watch talk, where jewelers record their transactions and post them on TikTok. And all of that happens right here. Right on 47th Street. I want to quickly turn your attention to the brand new spire of 270 Park Avenue. That is the brand new JP Morgan Chase office building. However, we're about to get a new office building on Park Avenue that is going to dethrone 270 Park. And that building is 350 Park Avenue. That is going to be the new Citadel Securities office tower. that is going to stand 1,650 feet tall. So for context, the new Citadel Tower on Park Avenue is going to be taller than Central Park Tower, which is Extel's development, 217 West 57th Street. It's just going to be an absolute mammoth. Citadel is one of the most profitable hedge funds in the world. They also have a massive market-making business. And we're now coming up to Saks Fifth Avenue on the corner of 49th Street and 5th. Usually Saks Fifth Avenue has the most beautiful holiday lights display. Unfortunately, due to economic troubles, they didn't have any holiday display last year. They only had the windows. They usually have just the most beautiful lights display on the facade. Hopefully that'll come back this year. We only have about 2 more months to wait and see. And now we're here at Rockefeller Center. Right now we're looking at 30 Rockefeller Center. This is where you have the top of the rock. The Rockefellers, the Morgans, the Vanderbilts, the Astors were really the main families who helped establish and build New York. We have St. Patrick's Cathedral. Here you have the beautiful St. Patrick's. Now, one of the benefits about Olympic Tower is that you'll always have your Midtown Manhattan views preserved because you're right next to St. Patrick's. Another fun fact, in order for Ken Griffin and Citadel to be able to build their 350 Park Avenue, as tall as 1,650 feet, they needed to acquire air rights through the process of assemblage. And they've done that by purchasing the air rights from St. Patrick's Cathedral, or the Archdiocese of the Catholic Church. It was one of the most controversial air rights sales in history because they didn't have to pay taxes on the sale because they are a religious entity. Across the street you have the old Versace flagship, which is now the Skims location, and that is Kim Kardashian's new brand. I want to say it competes with the likes of Lululemon. But over the years, Lululemon has really lost its luster, in my opinion, because you have so many competitors. You have Aloe, which is a huge competitor, and now you have Kim Kardashian's Skims. As a matter of fact, I believe Lululemon, ticker symbol LULU, just reported earnings after the bell today, and I think they absolutely bombed. I think they guided weak into the holiday season. One of the reasons for that, in my opinion, again, this is not a fact, it's just my opinion, I think it's because there's so much competition now, and there's so many different options. In any event, I'm really excited about this office building right here. This is the brand new Rolex building. This is going to be the New York City headquarters for the watch brand Rolex. You're going to have one of my favorite clubs in New York City on the left. This is the University Club. And a little bit further up by the Sherry Netherland Hotel, as well as the Pierre Hotel, you're going to have the Metropolitan Club that was founded by none other than J.P. Morgan. I believe the story of the Metropolitan Club starts with the Union Club, I believe. And a lot of the big financiers of the time were essentially just pissed off with the Union Club. So they're like, screw it, we're going to make our own club. And it's the Metropolitan Club that's sandwiched in between was dangerous. The Sherry Netherland Hotel and the Pierre. We're now passing St. Thomas Church. Be able to see just how beautiful it is. on the right-hand side on East 54th Street and 5th Avenue, you have the brand new Mandarin Oriental Residences on 5th Ave. Not to be confused with the Mandarin Oriental Hotel, which is now in the Deutsche Bank Towers. You can see a little bit of the spire of 432 Park Avenue, which is Harry Maclow's prized project on New York City's Billionaires Row. But the University Club is right here on the left, and it's just a really stunning property. It's unbelievable. You just don't get buildings like this anymore. To our right, you're going to have the St. Regis Hotel. To our left, you're going to have the Peninsula Hotel. 2 5-star hotels right next to each other on 5th Avenue. Just off to our right is Trump Tower here on 5th Avenue. This is a multi-use, multi-purpose building. There's commercial offices, and then there is residential condominiums overlooking Central Park.
That's such a good point.
We're now approaching New York City's Billionaires Row, 57th Street. You're going to have a few notable buildings in a row. The first one on our right is the new Tiffany building that was acquired by LVMH Moet Hennessy which is Bernard Arnault's company. They poured about $500 million into the building for the renovation. And to our left, you have the Crown Building, which is now the home of Aman New York, the ultra-luxury hotel brand. There's the front of Trump Tower, right next to the brand new Tiffany building. And then, of course, you have the very famous Louis Vuitton trunk that covers the scaffolding as they are building their brand new flagship store. But check out some of the architectural hints right here at the Crown Building. I mean, just really, really stunning stuff. I believe the NYPD is getting ready for the United Nations Week. And then I'll give you a really nice look at the Crown Building. If anybody's interested in stock trading, one of the greatest stock traders of all time, Jesse Livermore, used to have an office right here in the Crown Building. And then in this building right here, the Sherry Netherland, that's unfortunately cloaked in scaffolding, this is where he killed himself, inside the cloakroom on Thanksgiving Day. You'll see a lot of scaffolding and a lot of construction work around the Grand Army Plaza South. We are going to get a brand new Grand Army Plaza South right outside of the Plaza Hotel. And this building right here is the GM building. I'll leave all of you off with a gorgeous view of the Plaza Hotel. And if you enjoyed that walking tour, feel free to subscribe to the channel. Leave a like on the video, and as always, we will see you in the next one, and thank you so much for watching. Take care.